You're watching the News Hour at 10.
Welcome back. You're watching the News Hour at 10. This is the latter half of the show, and tomorrow is the big day when the first no trust vote, the no confidence vote for the Modi Sarkar comes up. It's a TDP motion. The opposition, it seems, is confident they have the numbers. Arithmetic might suggest otherwise. The BJP is very confident that they will easily sail past this no trust vote. We understand that the Congress party is not giving up either. The government has a change in strategy. They, of course, believe that taking this no trust vote head on is going to make sure they come out even stronger. And the Prime Minister, remember, is going to speak tomorrow in Parliament. 3 hours, 38 minutes for the BJP, about 38 minutes for the Congress party, 13 minutes for the TDP that has moved the motion. We'll get you the reactions we got so far today before we go into the break. And remember, do tune in tomorrow to Times Now when we start our special coverage of the no trust motion. Take a look at this first. News. It looks like the stage is all set for a 2003 rerun. The opposition is adamant on a showdown despite being short very clearly of numbers in the Lok Sabha. The biggest admission of this came from a Congress leader from Bengal, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. He spoke to Times Now. And take a look whether or not he's confident at all.
So it does not matter whether numbers are with us or not. It does not depend upon the numerical strength or numerical threshold. It is not the question of numerical strength. It is the question of morality, principle, and the success and failures of this government, and it is incumbent upon the opposition parties to expose the failures of this present incumbent.
10. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Oh, it's going to be interesting tomorrow, and let's just set the stage for that. Gopal Krishna Agarwal joins me for the debate. National spokesperson of the BJP, also Ghanshyam Tiwari, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Ashutosh Mishra also on the panel, and completing the panel, Dinakar Lanka, spokesperson of the TDP, joins us from Hyderabad. Thank you all. Ghanshyam Tiwari, let me start with you. The opposition, it would seem, arithmetically, does not have the numbers, even though there is still some sort of speculation that you might just embarrass the government. It might just be a close shave. What is the strategy really of the opposition, or the united opposition, if I can call it that? I'm not sure I can call it a united opposition tonight. Can you?
Arthur, the strategy is very, very simple. If tomorrow in the parliament, the opposition stands up and speaks about questions about the day-to-day fundamental basic issues that people of India are facing with respect to jobs, with respect to farmers, with respect to women's safety, with respect to cities infrastructure, with respect to rural distress, banking, corruption, and at the same time with respect to social harmony, the opposition would have done its job, because in the last 4 years, Prime Minister has not repeated the word Achhe Din even 4 times. As far as the debate itself is concerned, look at this panel itself.
Admit that there is no arithmetic chance of the opposition winning it.
One final point.
No, but do you admit that you know inside of your heart that you can't win this trust vote? The government will.
Well, the government is so afraid that in this 7-hour debate, government and its supporters are going to speak for 5 hours, and the opposition is going to speak for 2 hours. Have you ever heard a debate where one party speaks for 5 hours and another party speaks for 2 hours?
There is dependent upon the number of members of the House. That's dependent on that is given by the Speaker.
What kind of logic is that?
The no confidence motion.
The House is between government and opposition. If there is a debate, on no confidence, you have to give the two sides equal amount of time.
We take this as an opportunity, golden opportunity, where the Prime
5 hours versus 2 hours. What kind of debate are you wanting to pursue? You could have as well taken all 7 hours and just voted.
On these 4 years, 4.5 years, there has been
Why do you lost your golden opportunity in last session?
With regard to fighting
Why do you lost your golden opportunity in last session?
There has been so many
It's not golden opportunity to the BJP.
Inflation, macroeconomic
It is.
parameters.
Okay.
It
All
is
are
getting
connected. Mr.
exposed
Agarwal, Dinakar Lanka
to
of
the
the
nation.
TDP. Dinakar
The
ji,
betrayal which
Mr.
made
Lanka,
by the BJP.
Mr. Lanka, allow me to ask you a question. It is the TDP that has moved the motion. Last monsoon session was I beg your pardon, last budget session was a complete washout. We all know that. We all know what happened. They were, of course, finger pointing there, saying that, oh, the government is orchestrating this. The government says the opposition has no unity. Now, let's move beyond that. This time around, the motion has been accepted by the speaker. But you don't have the numbers. What are you hoping to achieve, sir? If the government wins at the end of the day, what have you achieved?
This government is deaf and dumb for 13 times when no confidence motion issued for previous session. Nothing has been happened. They made all backdoor operations in this session.
No, what is your objective?
They
You tell us.
Conveniently tied up with
No, we
YCP.
are whatever you may call. Sir, what is your objective of no confidence motion? What you want to achieve out of it?
They made in
Mr. Agarwal, what they are trying to
Okay, one second, Mr. Lanka. Mr. Lanka, I'll come back to you. Give me a second here. Ashutosh Mishra wants to come in. One second.
It is a betrayal.
One second. We'll come to the Andhra issues in just a bit. That's the fulcrum radio where it emanated from. But Ashutosh Mishra, go ahead, sir.
So, what the opposition is trying to show here is to put before the public its grievances. The Prime Minister holds Man Ki Baat, goes and speaks in London, but he has never tried to take questions and answer them. Here, all his records will be tested by the opposition, which will, through the parliament, tell the people that the government has failed on so many fronts. The government will get a chance. We don't have a 56-inch Sina, we have got a 66-inch ka Sina, and opposition will get a chance to show you 36-inch ka Sina, that you have not, whatever you have done is nothing, and how the people are hurting, how the farmer society is still happening, how the jobs are not there except in your imagination. And those intelligent debates can be heard instead of people talking about Namdar, Kamdar, this and that. Some solid economic data will have to be put forward by the government, which the people will get access to, and it will be on record.
Are you prepared to actually counter them on facts, on content-heavy topics, and not just catchy, pithy slogans and political potshots?
Definitely, we have, if you go for the macroeconomic data, every macroeconomic data points to a healthy economic growth in the country. We have a 7.7% GDP growth in the last quarter, fourth quarter. The world over, IMF, everybody is saying that India now is the fastest growing economic
those are being driven, those data is being driven by few sectors.
Those data
I will
give you
through few
every
sectors.
sector.
Inflation has gone up. Manufacturing sector is down.
Than 5%.
Last week it has gone up. The manufacturing sector is shrinking. Where are the jobs?
No, I tell you, the GDP.
Now you have raised the prices of minimum support price of crop. You have raised the price of sugar. What will the common man do? He will not have food on his plate.
Here's a question.
First time the MSP has been increased to 1.5 times.
One second. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Agarwal, very clearly here. The Shiv Sena hasn't still taken a call on whether or not they will abstain, go against, or vote for the government. They have been your longest ally, the longest Hindutva ally. What does that say about a government that has a brutal majority of 282, that their oldest ally, a day before the first no trust vote is coming for this government, the first time in 4 years, is not even convinced whether they should completely support them? What does that say about the confidence?
The Shiv Sena is part of the government in the center and the state. And we know there are differences on some issues with regard to do, but it shows that our government is not ready to compromise on any issue. The coalition, the biggest problem with the coalition government is that they have to compromise. See how Kumar Swamy says, he's crying on the screen, on the television, that I am helpless.
But
if the chief minister is so helpless, that shows that the prime minister
the coalition that you're
is
part
strong
of.
enough to take.
Okay, one second. Ghanshyam Tiwari wants to come in. Ghanshyam Tiwari wants to contribute.
Mr. Lanka,
okay, Mr. Agarwal, give me a second. Mr. Lanka, please wait for your turn. I'll come back to you, sir. But Ghanshyam Tiwari wants to come in. No, 1 second, Mr. Lanka, please. Don't speak out of turn, sir. Ghanshyam Tiwari will speak first.
Before 2014.
Oh, Mr. Lanka, please. I'll come back to you. I promise I'll come back to you. I promise I'll come back to you. Ghanshyam Tiwari wants to make a quick point. I'll come back to you, Mr. Lanka. Ghanshyam, go ahead, please.
A very quick point. I think this comes at a very important time in our country when it will establish the might of parliament in setting the agenda of the nation. For the past 2 years, we have seen that the debates from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. anchoring around Hindu-Muslim agenda, powered by BJP, its press conferences, its leaks, and its ability to focus on polarization, Prime Minister's ability to pick up fake news and transform it into electoral speech. The parliament debate tomorrow will counter that. It will give BJP an opportunity to tell their side of story, and it will give opportunity to the opposition to tell the story of the nation, where the issues of people are not just limited to everyday debate on
Mr. Tiwari,
they are much more diverse, and opposition will do its job if it
Who is talking of Taliban Hindu? Who is talking of India becoming Pakistan? Who is doing this? Who is telling Muslims that Congress is a Muslim party?
Nobody. That is fake news. That is fake news. That is exactly what we are talking about. You are again battling fact.
Here's the point. I want to ask Mr. Tiwari one question.
Hindu-Muslim every day, because you knew that there were sections in media that will follow your
Mr.
track
Tiwari, even if I hypothetically agree with you, sir, even if I hypothetically agree with you, which I necessarily don't, even if I agree with you hypothetically, you are saying that whatever you do tomorrow, an opposition party like yours or the Congress or any other party that speaks against the government, what exactly are you going to achieve apart from a quote-unquote moral victory? And we've seen what moral victories really lead to. They don't lead to electoral results, sir. Are you conceding that tomorrow's exercise is just going to be perhaps patting yourselves on the back and going home and saying that, look, we made the government look bad? You haven't even shaken the government. You haven't set the agenda.
And now how do you call a moral victory?
Well, even if they want to, I say.
No, they can just pat. The last sentence was fine.
Even if they
can pat on their back, but there is no moral victory.
Moral victory will be if the people...
Let him answer, I'll come back to you. Mr. Tiwari, direct question to you, sir.
First and foremost, the motion is brought by TDP, which got the same mandate as rest of the NDA on a failed promise, a U-turn promise of Prime Minister with respect to special category status. Second, look at the people who are going to speak on behalf of NDA. Apart from BJP, if JDU speaks, JDU is exposed on special category status. SAD has nothing good to speak about this government. Shiv Sena has nothing good to speak about this government. They have no allies to speak good about this government. In the
Speaking of allies, sir, I want to get Mr. Lanka in
including TDP,
no,
will speak about issues of people and the failures of governance.
Okay.
What we want to achieve is
speaking of allies
the
or
dialogue
former
on
allies
governance should be the core dialogue of this country.
Okay, Mr. Lanka, speaking of allies turned adversaries, your party, of course, as Mr. Tiwari said, was quite thick with the BJP till very recently. Then some local issues came up and you made the special status. Perhaps I can call it an excuse, perhaps I can call it a valid reason, but you made that really the jumping point from the NDA. Now, do you really think that this particular motion that has been now accepted after so much, I'll use an Urdu word, jaddo-jahad really, so much of difficulty here, do you really think you can drive home the point when the government has got still brutal numbers? They might even cross 315 tomorrow. Mr. Lanka.
BJP-led Narendra Modi lost confidence of 5 crores public in Andhra Pradesh. The promises which made by the Narendra Modi in the front of Lord Balaji, assurances which given with the pressure of BJP leaders at the time of bifurcation take place in Rajya Sabha, 5-year special category status. Apart from that, AP reorganization promises around 18, total together special category status 19 promises, which was betrayed by non-implementation of BJP-led Narendra Modi. That's why we came out from NDA. We used our right to pass a resolution by means of no confidence motion.
Okay.
This BJP-led Narendra Modi government feared to accept the no confidence motion in previous session.
Okay. Now give me a second.
Operation with YSRCP.
Before I
they made resignations. They reduced the strength of the Lok Sabha.
Okay, Mr. Lanka, you made your point, sir.
They reduced. Tomorrow, truth will come. What kind of betrayal made by the Narendra Modi will come out. It will be exposed.
Mr. Ashutosh Mishra, what I gather from Mr. Lanka's statement here is...
What was the promise?
All right,
what
sir.
Actually
you
happened.
made your point, sir. You made your point. You made your point. You made your point, sir. Ashutosh Mishra, what I gather from Mr. Lanka's statement here is, and I might be slightly harsh, you can accuse me of being harsh here, it is going to be an exercise, one second, sir, one second. It is going to be an academic exercise at the end of it, because clearly, apart from the moral point you're making, apart from the fact that some good speeches will be made from the other side of the aisle, trying to put the government on the mat, very little else will be achieved.
No, a lot will be achieved, because this is an exercise where the opposition is trying to bring the real issues that matter to the common man to the center of the table.
Is that not also the failure of the opposition, that you can't bring those issues in a normal course of a day? You need a no-trust vote to actually make that.
Because the Prime Minister is not ready to answer to that. He only likes to speak in Man Ki Baat. So now here he will have to answer to those charges, which will be on record. So that will be the biggest victory, is that people-centric issues are the issues which are going to drive the Parliament and the 2019 election.
And what makes you think the Prime Minister is not going to answer in the same coin? Go ahead, sir.
What I think is that many things will be achieved from tomorrow's debate, because we consider that the opposition is fighting, creating a false perception in the mind, trying to create false perception in the mind with regard to the economic parameters that the government has achieved, with regard to corruption, with regard to delivery, with regard to macroeconomic parameters, the growth in the economy, infrastructure, farmers' welfare, so many things, housing to the poor, insurance, health insurance, Ayushman. There are several schemes that the government has achieved. The people are not, opposition is trying to create false perception in the mind of people about intolerance, lynching,
just the other day,
we will be able to answer them and
Mr.
fight
Narendra Modi was giving clean check to Yogi Adityanath in law
so
and order.
Ultimately,
where
tomorrow
most of
will be the test. Where
things
people
are
will
happening.
know.
Rape is there, Kuldeep Sengar is there, buildings are falling down, and he was praising him in public, and he was proved wrong.
Okay, I want closing comments now.
Cannot be a country of 130 crore population. There are bound to be problems. We are not saying that there are no problems. Everything.
No, the point is you want to take all the credit and always blame your predecessors.
All right. Closing comments from Ghanshyam Tiwari. What exactly, sir, should we expect? Because apart from the BJP, which gets 3 hours, 38 minutes, if I'm not wrong, all the other parties do not come even close to the time being allotted here. Do you really think that the opposition has the kind of speakers to match the oratorial skills of not just the Prime Ministers, but also the other leaders that will speak for the BJP?
And they don't have the content.
I'm asking him.
No, but only
content, oratorial skill, whatever you want to call it. Ghanshyam Tiwari, 30 seconds.
Modi has been banking on his oratorial
All right. Let him answer. Ghanshyam?
First and foremost, in the eye of every citizen in the country, it will place Parliament at the center of the debate, which of late has not been, because BJP has not let the Parliament function this year. Second, it will allow the opposition to ask day-to-day questions related to people rather than limiting the debate to Hindu-Muslim that has happened. And third, that even in the 2 hours we get vis-a-vis 5 hours that BJP and its allies are getting, we believe the issues of the people in this country are about basic amenities. This government has taken this country from Achhe Din to Bure Din rather than Achhe Din to Achhe Din. And as a result, this government will have to answer why its promise of Achhe Din became Bure Din.
All right, I'm out of time here. I'm only going to say two things, in fact. One, of course, thing I'm certain about. The other, I'm not too certain about. What I'm not certain about is whether or not this Hindu-Muslim will not creep into the Parliament debate. It might just happen. You never know. What I am certain of, however, is that many people in the country will be glued to the television tomorrow, because it's going to be one busy, interesting and absolutely fascinating day in Parliament. Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Mishra. Thank you for joining us, Ghanshyam Tiwari, Ashutosh Mishra, Dinakar Lanka and Gopal Krishna Agarwal. Join Times now tomorrow from 7 a.m. Special coverage, all-day coverage, continuous coverage of the big no-trust vote in Parliament tomorrow. Majority versus morality.